Hello, friends. It's me, Cynthia, and Marty, and Azalea, and we are Greengirlstudios, and this is our Sunday edition Magic Hour. Thank you for joining us today. We are streaming live from Asheville, North Carolina, and today I want to do something that I haven't shown in a minute, which is wax work. Usually, I like to visit that like maybe once a month or so just to see what's happening, just to share what we're working on. And I see some of our friends are joining us. Hello, Morphing Designs. Cecilia, hello, hello. Facebook still misbehaving. That's not surprising to me. Karen says, I don't even try Facebook for Magic Hour anymore. Besides, Facebook only lets you save videos for 1 month. Yeah, we're trying to make more videos that are called evergreen, and we don't have a lot of them on our page, unfortunately. What an evergreen video means is like one that's not a previous live, and that it is, like it's knotting or crochet or whatever. It might not have a single subject, but it's not designed to be, a kind of an ephemeral. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Oh, hello, Wendy. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Pat. Hello, my friends. Joanne and I, we did the Henderson County Gem and Mineral Show. We worked that on Friday, and on Saturday we had a little booth set up, and it was pretty fun. On Friday, I worked in the kitchen, and I've never really worked in a kitchen environment where, like, I never worked a fast food job or even worked in a kitchen. The closest I ever did was I lasted 1 day at a catering event. And needless to say, catering was not for me. Running around and giving and pouring drinks, and it was not for me. I don't have a very, at the time, it was hard for me to remember what people ordered. So it wasn't ideal. I'm sure if I practiced, I would have gotten it. But, everybody has their gifts. But it was fun, actually, when someone would come up. I was on hot dog duty. I chose this, by the way, because I'd never done it. I'd never worked one of those hot dog rolling machines that basically like a hot dog tumbler. It was just like our tumblers, but it had hot dogs instead of tumblers, I guess, like what you fill with metal. So it was kind of fun. And when someone would say, we need 2 dogs, one a crybaby, the other one a plain, or whatever it was. Crybaby means you have onions on it. And so it was kind of fun. I was back there. I got 2 dogs ready. I felt like I was on Bob's Burgers a little bit.
Bob's Burgers, that's cute.
It was fun. I don't know how fun if it was every day, but I could see if you worked in a crew with friendly people, and it was all mineral ladies.
Facebook looks fine to me.
It was fun. I see Pat, or I think I said Pat. Hello, Shannon. Hello, Tina. Caroline, hello. Hello, Karen. Karen K. Hello, my friends. So, and then on Saturday, Joanne and I split a table in the member room, like the members of the society. It sounds kind of like it was secretive, but it was just a side room off of the armory, where we had a bunch of lapidary equipment set up, and somebody would be on wire work. I mean, it was a whole room of people showing skills. And I was like, man, this is actually pretty cool. If someone came in here, you could learn about one station. One guy was showing really detailed wire wrapping that, I've done wire wrapping, of course, but this was like, very ornate wrapping. And then I was doing wax work, and somebody else was doing faceting. This is all in the same room, if you can picture it. There was a guy on a faceting machine at the door, and there I was in one corner doing waxwork demonstrations, and in another area, another guy was doing the wire work, and then in another one, someone was making cabochons. And I was like, you could spend some time here learning all this knowledge. And it was only like, I didn't pay anything because I was a member, but I think it was like maybe $5 or $10. I don't know what the entrance fee was, but it was a lot of fun. So I don't know about other places that have mineral societies, but from the other members, which there's like 100 other members, they were telling me other places that there's a gem society in San Diego that's incredible. So if you're in that area, if you're in Southern California, I was like, I want to join. That's like $20 a year for your dues, and you have access to incredible equipment. I was like, man, I wouldn't mind that. It's a kind of a hidden resource that I never even thought about, and I love gems. So check out your local mineral society. Oh, hello, Jeanette. Hello, hello. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wanted to show. I got one thing. I got a couple things. I got a couple of minerals. One thing that I did get. Check this out. This is pretty cool. So one gal had this bracelet, and she had pried out. She got an estate sale. And she pried out all the I think they were like little turquoise cabs and a small watch bezel in the middle that was set here. And you can see it's pretty heavy duty, but it's actually hollow through here. And they were like, I don't know what to do with it. And I was like, I can melt that down. And so I traded for it. So it was pretty good. It had to be a trade between some of Joanne's stuff and some of my stuff so I could get it because it's silver. And we were like trying to figure out how much did it weigh. We played the price is right, or the amount is right. And that was kind of fun because I was like, listen, I can name that amount. I was actually way off with this, though. It was 75 grams, if you're wondering, of silver. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but the price of silver was like a big topic of conversation, was the amount that, like how it's been fluctuating on the high end. One person was like, it was $45. And I think the next day went up to 48 at one point. It's been a big topic of conversation. And which affects all of us if you like to use silver. I do. I like to put it. I made this necklace this is a sample of one of the frogs that we had carved that from my carving. And this is the one we didn't choose. And we didn't choose it in the opalite. Opalite is basically milk glass. They'll say, oh, it's synthetic. It's just glass. It's not, I mean, when you say when someone says synthetic, that implies like plastic, but it's actual glass. And I'm not sure of what is the component in it that gives it that milky Vaseline look, but it's kind of fun. It's like you can see agates with that same kind of milkiness. But anyway, this is one we didn't choose, and so I loved it, and I took it over. And I made this little necklace. I did it where I have it kind of asymmetrical. The only thing I don't like about it is that I have these Hill Tribe little pointy things that stick out. Those are the fine silver drops. We had them in a lot sale a little bit ago. But then it's funny because I remembered why I separated them when I wore it. It's because they're pokey and they need to be filed. And I had separated them into a bag with the thought that I would file them a little bit because they're sharp. I don't know if you can see that. They're like little, some of them are. I mean, not all of them, but some of them have a little bit of a pokey end. And so when I was wearing it, I was like, what is this? So I'm going to have to fix that. It's like little scratchies. But anyway, that was a fun little project. And the good news, this was our first round of having our own custom carvings made. But it's in my pocket. Oh, here it is. We're having this design. So we did a test run. That's me and Jen from Cherry Tree. She's my friend that lives up in Swananoa and has that business. But look at that piece. This is one that we have. It's relatively new. Maybe, how old is this piece, Azalea? Like 3 years? 2
Yeah,
years?
it's a few years old.
A few years. Anyway, we have the sample in obsidian, and it actually looked killer. I was surprised. I was like, wow, that actually looks really good. And there's another one we sent in. So we had a few that I sent over to make samples. And it's kind of an interesting process. It's similar to, like, I'm in the gem club now learning to carve rocks. And I'm self-taught for the majority of my lapidary experience, but there's like professional lapidary. I don't know what what's the term for that? Lapidariist. I don't know what it is, but they were giving me all kinds of pointers, which was pretty cool, and dropping some knowledge on me. Like I was pretty fascinated because I didn't know. I never heard of such a thing as smoking an opal. Not like how you think, like with herbs, but the like fuming the stone. I didn't know this was a thing, and that's how they. I was like, how do they get this coloration that looks kind of like it's shadowed? And they're like, wow, that's a process that they use called that they actually smoke the opal, and it absorbs because it's kind of like if you ever seen opals, like they'll go translucent in water. They're actually absorbing the smoke. And I was like, oh my God, my doors are being totally blown off right now. I had no idea that that's how that happened. But yeah, I was completely amazed and delighted because I want to see that process in live action. So, oh, Nancy's a pokey like a coral branch. It's pokey like a coral branch for reals. Karen says, I've been hoarding my silver. You know, I'm at the phase now where I don't want to hoard. I don't want to hoard my stuff, even though I did hoard it for a long time. And it's almost like it's like I was hoarding it for this time, this future me that's now making jewelry that is kind of loaded up. I'm using my favorite things, and used to I'd be like, it's too precious. It's too precious. I want to do that. And then I realized, and this is a realization after attending probably 50 estate sales. Would you say that is like probably been to 50 estate sales? You start to get a realization that use the stuff because you're not here forever. Might as well enjoy it. You already spent your hard-earned money. I mean, why not wear it? Why not just, even if you made a stretchy bracelet, as horrible as that sounds, just use it and be able to admire yourself, in this like, fancy stuff. Like I made this necklace, and it's some of my all-time favorite things. There's this big one right here. It's a little too heavy. Kind of gives my neck. It's kind of makes my neck hurt a little bit. So I'm going to restring it so it's not so heavy because this, if you were to weigh it, that's more than 75 grams. It's probably like 150 grams of, you can kind of hear that, like the weight of it. It's a heavy necklace. But I've been sitting on this guy for like 1,000 years. It's too precious. I don't want to use it. I'm like, why not use it? And the same with this. Look at this little carved eye. I think I'm going to have this next. I don't know if people would want this. It's small, but it's one I want to test. And I don't know how detailed these machines are that can carve this, but it looks like you can get pretty tight details. So the next batch, I'm excited to share that. They're coming soon. So I'm thinking maybe within the next month or so, they might be dropping on this. So it's pretty exciting. And the next shape is going to be like this, as a heart on one side and a star on the other. And I'm thinking it would be really pretty in turquoise, but then that for real wouldn't be a cheap date. So we're looking at options of different stones in different colors. It's one of the most awesome abilities that, being able to manufacture and create your own stone pendants is like, it's pretty awesome. I love the feeling of being able to have an idea and to make it happen. So this is, I couldn't find an owl sitting around, but I have an owl and a bat that are in this same kind of shape with it's more simple. So the owl in the sample it's so good. And the bat, I was like, I can't wait. Even in the black, both of them looked amazing. The black is good. They sent it in this black color because it's not, number one, it's not an expensive stone. And number two, you can see the detail, which doesn't make sense. You'd think, oh, crystal or something light would be easy to see. The black obsidian is much easier to see because it's kind of low contrast, and it's not like you don't have light shining through it, making it difficult. Like on something like this, when the light shines through it, you can actually see through it, which makes the details kind of hard to see when the light is going through the whole thing. So that's why they make the first batch in the dark stone so you can see all the details. And everything looks really good. It should be, I mean, I have to make the cards and the lore for each one. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait. Let's see. Wouldn't it take away that gorgeous Schiller? If you're talking about, oh, I'm behind. Hello, Nancy. Made it early. Thank you. I'm so glad you all could join me today. Jeanette says, love it. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I'm glad. Yeah, buy the frogs, y'all. So then it's kind of like a vote for more. You know what I mean? It's a vote that tells us, hey, keep going. You're doing the right thing. You're making good choices. So I appreciate that, y'all. Hello, Mary. Let's see. Smoke in the opal. I see. Wendy says, wouldn't that take away? When you're talking about opal, it's not Schiller, it's flash. They have different verbiage for that. And I think they mean it for Schiller is more like a feldspar, like a labradorite or a sunstone. Nancy says, I have enough for 3 lifetimes. Nancy, that's a good feeling. Sometimes it's nice to be able to have a big palette out. I like a big palette of stones to work with. And Wendy says, same. Yeah, you guys, I got a lot. But you know what? I feel like it brings joy to my heart, so I'm not going to stop. I don't care what's that Japanese gal, the one that's like, does it spark joy? I don't care. It all sparks joy. I don't care if anyone says, don't you have enough stuff? I'll be like, well, I guess it's time for someone to go home now. Nancy, been collecting for over 50 years. Nancy, I'd like to go through and look at your stash with you. That's like one of my all-time favorite things is to look at other people's stashes. And I like looking through my own. Oh, Mary says, hello, ladies. Looking forward to seeing what you have in store for us. Me too. We're going to see what I do. Hello, Anne, my friend. Anne, I miss you. Look, I was just telling Isaiah, I said, listen, we need to take a road trip right up the East Coast and then go and visit our friends up that way. Raven says Marie Kondo, and then she had a kid. Yeah, we'll see how much joy she's going to be sparking with working on minimalizing her place. Nancy says, come on up. I'd be happy to. That should be a show. Wouldn't that be a fun one where we all look at each other's stashes and look at our favorite beads? I would watch that. Could be a new series. Maybe it's me and Azalea traveling around the country observing folks' stashes. Could be fun. All right. Oh my God, I've been talking for so long. What the heck, Thornton? What have I been doing? What have I been talking about? All right, hopefully. Let's see, I'm going to switch this camera. All right, let's see. Hopefully this isn't going to be a mess. I did not straighten this up. I put this other kind of background because it's lighter, and my table is kind of dark wood. No, this is that bracelet. I'm going to totally melt this down. But you know what? I wasn't sure if it was legitimately silver. It's hard to tell if you don't have a way to test it. And I didn't have a way to test it. So it's marked there, but I'm going to melt this down. This is one of the things I got at the gem show. Oh, Nancy says there's a free bead show in Providence soon. June says, are you going to Tucson again? I love going to Tucson.
We always go.
And there's going to have to be something to prevent me. Nothing's going to stop us now, right?
Yeah, it would have to be like the shutting down of all
it's
the
gonna
airports
have to be like,
that would stop us. And even then, we'd probably be like, we can
even
drive.
then, we can drive.
We always make it happen somehow.
We can always make it happen. So this is my alcohol lamp. I'm going to fill this up real quick. And I love gem and mineral shows. Sharon says, how about a show where someone comes to organize my stash? That would be cute. I would want someone to do that to mine. That could be a show, because you know what? I also love watching shows where they organize. I don't know what's wrong with me that I like it so much. Like, as I was like, why do you like this home edit? Remember when I was kind of obsessed with that show? So this isn't actually kombucha in this. Has denatured alcohol. I'm just recycling this bottle because it's easier to pour from this than that great big tub of denatured alcohol, which, man, that always sloshes all up and down every which direction whenever I have it. So I love that story. Oh, let me show you what else I got. So this is, Wendy says, seriously want to go to Tucson? Yeah, it's a good time. There's nothing, I can't think of anything that I don't like about going, except for maybe how crowded it is at that point. You guys will never guess what this is. Never guess in a million years. Maybe you would guess if you've seen it. Azalea?
I know what it is.
You know, because you saw me looking at this at, I don't remember where I saw it. I saw it somewhere.
Did you get all those pieces you saw?
No, I didn't. I just got this one.
Dang. She wanted all of them.
Oh, Wendy says Marie Kondo for bead storage. Wendy, I hate that idea. I hate that idea so hard. She goes, I'd be afraid she would tell me to get rid of stuff. Yeah, I don't want to hear that story. I don't want to hear that at all. I'd be like, listen, go to somebody else and organize their
just make stuff out of it.
Yeah, you just save it for later. You're going to make something. The heck? All right, let me tell you what this is. So there's this rockhound guy in the Seattle area that chips off. This is from an old bridge that dates back to probably the 60s. They weren't exactly sure. So this thick layer that you're looking at right here, this is all spray paint. Isn't that crazy? This is all layer upon layer of spray paint under this bridge that people have been making murals on it for that whole time. So that thickness, that is all the paint. No, Anne, no, it is not Fordite. I thought so too. At first I thought it was Fordite. It's not Fordite. It actually, you can peel it. I'm not going to peel it because I don't want it to get, like, you can peel it right here. But look at, you can see that thin. Isn't that cool? It's like a book. And if you were to take this on the grinding stone, every time you ground this, every single time, your image would be so different. And just look how beautiful it is. I don't know if I saw it and I was like, Azalea, it is like the painting itself has already made itself. This was my favorite side. But I'm kind of tempted to take photographs of each side and grind it a little more and then look at it and then take a picture. I was like, that could be a whole show, a photo series. I love it. Anyway, that was my find. And it feels like a little bit like polymer clay, and part of me kind of wants to make one just like that, because then it's like the potential is endless. I thought, hey, that'd make a great bag fabric or a skirt, if you can imagine that, like a sublimation print. I love it. So while I was at the show yesterday, let me show you what I brought. This is what I brought. I had this my lamp, and this little box of tools, and this little thing of waxes. And so I was demoing on, what did I demo on? Oh, a bunch of things. These are all works in progress and just things I'm working on. This is actually a doll head under here, under this piece of a rubber glove. I was making wigs for this doll. But anyway, here's let's see if I can open that. Let me get it. Let me find it. It's all smalls. It was funny. I made this little bird on the fly while I was sitting there showing this guy. He was like, I've never seen anyone do this. Half the fun was making something. I made this in like 2 seconds while this guy was watching, and his reactions were so charming. He was like, "Good Lord," like really effusive in his praise. So it was kind of like I felt like a magician, like showing tricks. So what I was working on very specifically, because I want to make Azalea's, I want to finish her necklace. Y'all remember I was working on that chain project for little daughter.
I'm so hyped to wear that. I'm ready now.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of comments that I missed here. Teresa says, "Wow," and I'm with you. Wendy it's blowing her mind, and she says, "Looks like the inside of a human cell." Oh yeah, that makes me like it even more. And Shannon says, "So cool. It reminds me of the gum wall here in Seattle." Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you never know what's in there. There's probably little bits and stuff to make that pattern. It also kind of looks like mocha megane. You know that pattern where you take you stack up different types of metal. You stack it up and fuse like silver, copper, bronze, and shakudo, and you make what's called a billet, and it's basically this but metals, if you can imagine it. And then you take a hammer and you hammer the living daylights out of it. And then after you've hammered it, you run that thing through a rolling mill. If I'm not mistaken, I think either you roll it through the rolling mill or you shave it down. I believe it's rolling it through the mill. And you get the same thing, but it's in metal. And that's called mocha megane. The same thing can be done with polymer clay. Much easier. They call that when we were in
Weird.
I know it's kind of cool.
You could totally like cut the corners off or something and make it like a nice oval, and then you could like totally sand that down on one of those sanders at the Gems Society and make it like your own cabochon and set it in something. Imagine that with like you remember how I did that one demo like 3 years ago showing people how to do beadwork around a cabochon, or like seed bead peyote around a cabochon. You could do that and that would look really cool.
Yeah, I know.
That would be my ideas.
It's a little fragile. That's the only thing. Feels like it could peel on the sides, but I don't want to peel it. I just want to.
You could probably.
I want to grind it like this. You know, you have the grinding surface, and every time you grind it, this pattern will be different.
If you ground it a little bit and like shaped it, and before you set it in the cabochon, you could always put a layer of resin over it to protect it from peeling anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool looking.
All right, so this is what I was working on, little daughter. Check it out. That's what I thought would be good. Do you have that necklace handy over there on that board? We'll check it out, and we'll check the fit. So this is the clasp. It'll be sturdy enough. I'm like, trust me, it'll be sturdy enough, even though it's small, but it was kind of hard to work. The hole is right here. I don't know if you can see that.
It was, the chain looked different, so it took me a second to find it after you did the
liver sulfur.
Yeah.
So this is what. Okay, so I made this, and instead of doing like this nonsense, because sometimes, you know, I love it, but I've had problems with this, like pulling, you know, so I don't love that story. I would like to, let's see. Let me show this. Where's the end of it? Here we go. Oh, that's not the side. This is the side. I want it to flow in the design and not look like kind of cumbersome and heavy. So I wanted something very delicate. Let's see how it looks. Get in there, you. So that's what I have so far. I don't know how y'all feel about it, if it looks good, but I might make one and extend it out. So I would like to make a series of hooks like this, like these little decorative shepherd hook type pieces for chain and things, like delicate work. That's a goal. Wendy says, where did I get that weird piece? Oh, this is from the Gem and Mineral Society, the show. They had a change of venue due to Helene. It got flooded, so they had to go to the Armory, and that was kind of interesting. We used to do gem shows where we'd be at an armory, and it brought me back to remembering doing gem shows. Look what I did. I messed this mermaid's face up. Yeah, she's like, I don't know if you remember, it was so close to being done, and then I messed with it, and now it's way behind. Oh, June says, cool hook. Cecilia said, wow, I like it. Thank you. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and here's one I was working on right here. Check this out. Oops. That was supposed to be an earring component. I don't know. The four hole situation. I'm not sure how good that will work, but it's something on my things to do. Here's the other side of this. This is for the Tila clasps. I had that out and I worked on it all day long trying to get it. I might have to revisit another design, but that's the fun, I think, of doing wax work, is that you can kind of design things that you need. So this is what I was planning for this guy right here. You see what I mean? I wanted something a little more refined. I love this, but the Tila bracelets, I don't want to make a stretch bracelet, and I don't want to do it where it has like the same old hook and eye closure that I have. I wanted something unique and different. So I would like to do something like this. It's more geometric. Good thing this stuff's sturdy, right? It just slides off. It doesn't break. This is another idea that I was working with. It's this here. It's okay. As far as, like, I don't know if I love it. We'll see. Something a little more thick, I guess. Oh, thank you, Karen. Karen says they're looking great. So this line, I'm hoping, this is what my plan is for this. I made this one, I blocked it out, but I'll show how to block it out right now. Let's do it. I'm going to lower the camera. Change the light source a little bit. Actually, we'll just do this. Sometimes it's hard to light up this lamp. It's not saturated with alcohol. I'll put it to the side because I'm afraid it'll heat up whatever, like you can feel the heat, like 18 inches, 12 inches, pretty close. So I don't want to heat up the camera. All right, so I'm going to get a piece of, this is just regular wax. This was a sprue. And what I'm going to do is draw out another type of hook. I was thinking maybe a long hook for this piece. So it helps me when I'm working to have something, to have the thing that I'm working on in front of me so I can see what I'm doing and I can compare it and be like, oh, that would look good. So I can have that there. I can be like, how will this look when it's done? The shape. So that looks pretty good. This size would be good too. A little thick though. I think this looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to heat up some of this wax. I think I blew it out. And this is a sample. This gray thing is a sample that I got for countertops at Lowe's. Maybe it's Home Depot. I think maybe I'll do this a little longer. And what I'm doing is just drawing this. This is my basic form. Maybe longer this time. We'll see. I'm going to try a different way this time because of having these manufactured. I would like them made in different metals. So I've been chatting with the folks from Greece that have taken over TierraCast, and it's been pretty eye-opening. You know, I have never had things like manufactured in Greece. They have a lot of technology because they make chain to make fine small links and small components. It's kind of hard for us to make really small things. All right, so that's my basic shape. It doesn't look like much right now, And that's because it's not really, what I'm doing is just getting the basic form. Another piece here. And this is a tool that Greg made for me. It's made out of steel, and it has a little spoon on the one end and a knife point on the other. And in a moment, this will be ready to come off. I think it might be ready. And usually this piece of corian is kind of cool. But it should, if it's ready, it'll pop right off. There we go. What I'm going to do is kind of round out the shape a little bit and keep everything together, because on this side it's kind of, you can see it's not held together really well. So what I'll do is melt everything together very gently. And kind of get it to where it's melted together. You don't want to have parts that aren't melted because they will break very easily. This is a pretty good step for that. If y'all had your wish of a perfect hook, what would you want it to look like? Today, I did a deep dive and searched and looked at all the available hooks that you can get right now. And I was kind of, there's a bunch of them, but they're made for larger pieces. There were some that were really cute, like a tiger and I think there was a gator. It was pretty adorable. But they were for big things like paracord. And I'm going to try and focus on making things that are very detailed and tiny. Not only because the cost of silver is getting so wild, but I just don't have that many things like that. So I'm excited to try and get these made in other materials or other colors. So they'll be cast in pewter and probably some in silver. We'll probably make some for our own. But I would love to manufacture these so they'd be really affordable, or you could buy a pack of them. I don't know what the cost is going to be like, but I would love to make them really affordable and have another option for people to get like really cool, useful jewelry components that won't break the bank, you know. When they're small like this, they can be kind of hard to hang on to. It's looking pretty good. Usually when it gets to that point, a little bit shiny, I give it a second. So then I switch to another thing. So I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm really into making jewelry with round beads. I love them. And what I would like are bead caps that would go with some of these pieces. I have a big collection of rounds. Here's one here that I had set aside because it's that lodolite quartz. It's so cool. Let me see if you can see it. It's like a whole world in there. It's a little bit hard to see it, but it kind of reminds me of those resin forest things that you can see where people make the wood and then they pour resin in it and then they trim it and it looks like an underwater scene. It's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to take this. I've added these little really rudimentary clumps of wax on that just to get the piece started. And I thought, hey, you know, it'd be cool is if this looked like a neat growth like on a tree. And so I'm going to experiment and see what it looks like. I'm going to add some more, build it up. But it'll be a small piece. The only thing, when you make really small pieces like this, it can be really challenging to make them and then keep track of them. So that's one reason I would really like to have them made. So is the technology is a little bit more advanced. Like we're making them and we're doing them the old-fashioned way, and they have machines now that can, like, you can make it and basically 3D print them, like 3D print waxes, and get those designs very quickly, faster than I could anyway. I really like how this is, this bead. I'm kind of mesmerized. It's another one of those, that lodolite quartz that looks like it has a whole underwater scene in it. This would be hard for us to make. Is this something that had a really detailed edge, like this edge here? I'm going to stretch it out a little, I think, and make it so that the area looks kind of like a bud blooming off of a tree branch, you know, with a little shape like that. It'd be pretty cool. Anyway, that process, from what I understand, having it made in Greece is kind of a lengthy, like a lengthy process. I've had things made in Rhode Island, in Albuquerque, and in California. I've had many experiences with manufacturers, but never with some that will include tariffs and things. So that was the only thing that was kind of a little bit different, was the thought that you have to factor in how much the tariffs are going to be. Yeah, I don't think the ones for Greece are that high, though, thankfully. All right, so that's a potential bead cap. It's hard to see a little with the red, but if you can imagine that in silver, it'll look good. But you know what? This is such a teeny fiddly thing, it would be really hard to cast. So maybe if we just had one or two that we were making, or a handful, it would be no problem. But making these in multiples would be pretty intense. That's why it'd be good. Like sometimes the technology, it's good, you know, to have new technology, especially if you don't have the labor force to make it. I'm going for something kind of organic and almost like barnacles. I think that'd be pretty cool if this looked like barnacles growing on the top of this. So if you can picture it in silver, it'd be neat. And what if there were stones in it, you know? It's kind of fun to ask those questions. What if? What would this look like if I did this? And then having the ability to make it is pretty good too. I was telling him, I was like, listen, it's like a superpower to be able to have that ability to create something that you can imagine it. And I was like, Azalea, if I were in your shoes when I was your age, to be like, I want this thing, and I can go upstairs and sew it, then make a jewelry piece and then cast it, maybe even set a stone. I was like, you don't even know what I would have given in my youth time. So I'm glad that I can provide that for Azalea, what I would have always wanted for myself. Yippee! Oh, Julie says, I have an earring set from you in Iolite that have tried many bead caps. Nothing rings my bell. Julie, I know that feeling. I know it well, because I love rounds, but sometimes the bead caps that we have access to are a little on the plain side. And that's why I was so excited when I found Anne's bead caps. And I've made many earrings with them and sold them. So they're pretty good sellers. Pretty nice. Yeah, I've been meaning, I told Liz, I've got to finish that necklace, but I don't want to say that I'm like stocking up the different things for it, but I kind of am. I'm rounding up all the components. I want more chain And so I've been digging in my stash, hunting for all the stuff that I want to go with it. And it's like sometimes things take time to percolate and come to fruition. To percolate. And I was like, speaking of percolating, it made me think why percolate made me think of the pawpaw tree that's sitting on my porch right now. But y'all, I have 2 pawpaw trees that are waiting to go into the ground. And I just have to figure out where they're going to go. So right now this looks like a blob. And that's okay, because I can then decide what I want that blob to look like. Keep playing with it and seeing how it looks. And also, you know what the best part is? If it's kind of small, then it's not going to be heavy. So that's a perk too, because you don't want to make a bead cap that weighs your earrings or your ears down. So then it's like you're getting like a bloodhound with their ears hanging down is what I mean. We'll see. Maybe I was thinking of something that kind of stretched down and was like a drop. Maybe it doesn't even have to have that bottom piece. Oh, Anne says it's craft show season and it's only going to get busier before the holidays. Oh, for sure. I like to make different things that, you know what I notice people like to see is finished things at a craft show. So it's hard to sell like not that finished, you know, like I have some prints, but I think if I had some that were already in like an inexpensive frame or something, it's easier. I had on my area of the table yesterday, I had beads in this big bowl and some rings that I was trying to get rid of. And what else did I have? Oh, I had some necklaces. So far, how do we like it? I don't know. It kind of looks like an octopus. And when I get to a point where I'm like, I don't know what this is looking like, I'll just set it down and be like, okay, well, we'll come to you later. And that's why I have like 20 of these boxes of half finished work, just because that's how I don't like to force it. I just like to make as I need to. Although working that way can be kind of not great if you're trying to get things done. You know, if you're like, oh, I'm going to have for the GBE in October. When is that GBE? Is that a year? Let me see. Let's see if I can see those notes. October 17th through the 19th. Sharon says, ha ha ha, like a bloodhound. Yeah. Well, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you got earrings that are so low, they make your ears ache, or the heaviness makes your ears ache. Yeah, maybe I'll have it where there's a little bit of what I'd like to do is some kind of design through here. And I think I can do it. I know I can do it. It's not that hard. But the shape is the thing. You want something that's easy to do. That's not, you don't have to sit there and futz with it a long time to try and get your necklace on. That's not what you want. I've made so many of these, and I've been experimenting with so many of them to see what works and what doesn't. And I like that ability to just say, hey, what works with this? Let me see, I'm going to grab one of those items. Boy, I like to have a rolling cart. Don't mind me, I'm just digging in my stuff.
And it's not a stream, not a magic hour, unless she's doing some scrounging.
So if I'm not scrounging, then it's not a magic hour. So I made this, and it works really good. And this is one that I tried out just to test. And it works pretty good. I haven't made any molds of it. It's just a one-off. And so this works pretty well. I tried it out with a cord. I knew it would work, but because, I mean, it's a standard hook, there's no reason it shouldn't work. But what I don't want is to make something that's really easy to come apart. Isn't that a nightmare? Is to have a necklace on that you put a lot of time and energy only for the clasp to come undone. Horrendous. I might make this one more like faceted looking. That might be cool. And what I mean by that, the faceted look is like this bead right here. Something that looks like it would match this would be pretty nice. Maybe with planes that are kind of more graphic could be kind of interesting. Let's see. And the way you get those, I'll show you how to do. I'm going to blend this in. and I'll show you how to get those facets. I think so far that's looking like a good shape. It's a little thick right now, but that's okay. You'll see why that'll be good here in a moment. Man, the weather's changing, and we had a little bit of PTSD from there was like a hurricane warning, and I was just like, oh, Zelly, we might have to fill the tubs up. And it was giving me so many flashbacks of this time of year last year. I don't know if y'all remember.
It's exactly a year ago.
It was 1 year ago when we were riding our bikes, and I mean, we ride our bikes all the time, but I meant riding to get water, like going down, like hunting for water. It was kind of crazy. I'd never been in that situation before. What the hell?
We brought our whole neighborhood together.
It did. It brought a lot of us together.
Everybody helping each other somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of charming.
Even though it was horrible, it was still awesome to see people being good neighbors and being kind to each other. It was.
Yeah, people we'd never spoken to just showing up at the house and being like, "Can we help you?"
Mm-hmm. I've never seen that, and I've been through hurricane seasons in Florida in my youth, and never in all that time had anyone come up to our house and said, "Hey, do y'all need a hand with all those fallen trees?
Yeah.
And I see you don't have any power, and I see you don't like a tree falling on your house." Like, no one came up to like that happened in my youth when Hurricane Andrew hit, and you were kind of on your own.
Just more proof that it's not a world that you should be pessimistic in. People are
thing.
still good.
There's a lot.
People
of
are good and sweet to each other still.
Oh, Ann says that Greek vendor may be in Tucson. He was at the casino last year. Yeah, I've been emailing a person that's from that group or that company, and it would be nice to meet them face to face. So right now I'm taking off very gently. This is a ceramic blade, and I broke the tip off of it, and it's loosey-goosey in there. It just comes out, but I'm bracing it, and it's a good way. Let me see if I've got another blade. It's a real blade. You got an X-Acto knife over there, like a real one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no, here. All this. I forgot I had this. Digging around, of course, the X-Acto blade. I probably have 20 of them, and they're never under my fingertips when I need it. That's because my son, not Marty, but my other son, he puts together these figures and he gets into my stuff. Let's see if this works. No, this is not going to work. I'll just go and use what I have here. And so I'm scraping away, but not really scraping. I'm actually whittling, and it's kind of like soap. If you ever carved soap. And this might give it a nice, like, faceted look. Might have to redo it and go in with a sharper knife, but let's see if it shows the planes. You see how, like, when you use a knife with it, you get these sharp planes. These are kind of rounded off, but it'll look hammered, which might be a neat look. This kind of blade is supposed to be good because it doesn't cut your fingers, and it hasn't cut my fingers, which is pretty nice. Maybe it'd be good if it were pointed. We'll see. Wendy says, it's sad that helpfulness only happens during crisis, but it does show who you can trust, rely on. Isn't that the truth? We did have, it's hard to think of, but we did have some friends that kind of showed their true colors where they were like, all right, I'm out of here. And they took off. And I'm not going to say I made a note to myself to see who abandoned ship when. Now, I'm not saying if you had kids or that would have been really hard if you had to try and take care of babies with no water. I can see that perfectly. But say a grown man.
You will not be invited to the function ever again.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and your invitation was lost.
Facts. Sometimes that's how it has to be.
Sometimes that's how it happens when someone is like, I'm going to take care of myself.
It was like we had to revert back to like village times.
You did have to revert to a village, and our neighborhood was our village.
Our neighborhood was our village, and if you are, just giving up and leaving everybody, then and not even offering to help or anything, then peace. But you will not be welcomed back with some open arm action, bro.
Yeah,
you will be
that's.
scowled at, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know if we scowled, but
I did.
okay, you did. Oh,
Yeah.
this would be perfect. Let's get this one cleaned up. But it was a good. I mean, there was a lot of plus signs to that, even though there was a lot of loss of life and property and a lot of things that will never come back again. But on the upside, new things have cropped up. It's like a fire, sometimes you need that fire for new growth. I'm just looking on the bright side.
Yeah, that's good to do. It's like that episode of that show we watched. There was like, some things have to go for other things to come in.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's good to remember to think about what happened and be grateful every day.
Yeah, that I feel like is probably the best feeling is to have gratitude because you know what? Especially like if you had something like my hearing went out for a couple weeks in one of my ears. And boy, when my hearing came back, I was like, I have every day I'll be like, just so thankful that I could hear small things that I'd taken for granted. Like the sound of Marty's like wake up sound.
His chirp.
His chirp.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
That little.
That's the wake up sound.
That's and to have that gratitude of, hey, I can hear that. So I kind of gave up on faceting that because I don't have a sharp enough knife. If you have an X-Acto knife, you can really get some nice planes. But now I'm just at the scraping. And maybe this piece will be more like, not to go with this. It's still too big. That would be way too big. Even though this would be like 2 grams of silver, maybe. Nancy says, so shocking. It came so fast. Yes, it did. Wendy says, very true. Yes. All right, let's see what this is happening here. Or maybe I'm going to do something a little bit. What do y'all think about, what would you want, Azalea, with this? Because this is going to go on your necklace.
Are you designing that little hook?
Yes, I have this hook right here. That's what I have so far, and it looks like it's kind of bubbly or like kind of like an octopus.
I did like seeing that. Yeah.
And then this one is a little bit longer. It might be a little easier to.
I am partial to jewelry that looks like a plant growing.
I am too. So I kind of like the idea of a
flower
vine.
or something. I don't know how big it is. I can't see so much from here, but I would go plant wise with that.
I will make it.
I love that necklace. I see it laying there, and I'm ready to wear it now.
That's what Azalea. She's eager. So I've been watching motivated to get this done pretty quick.
No, I love it. It's like my flavor. And I didn't even know. It was my flavor until you made it.
It's one of my early type styles. This is probably when I was writing Enchanted Adornments. I made a lot of necklaces like this, and it was one of the types that sold really well. But it is kind of labor intensive in all the wire that you need and all the wraps. And, sometimes you just get bored with the style. So I got bored with it for a little bit. All right, so this is kind of like, let me see how that will look. Do you like that where it's like a loop almost?
Yes.
Nice long loop. Wendy says, it's sad that we learn more, grow from the tragedies than the happier times. Well, when things are happy and good, you don't have to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like, sometimes what? You might have to plug in your PC.
It's plugged in right now.
Uh-oh.
That's the problem I've been having for like 3 days is my computer will like charge for like 10 minutes and then it will immediately be like, no, never mind. This plug is not good. I think it's the cord itself because I've tried it in outlets all over the house. I don't know how to fix it.
I don't either. Maybe it's time to get another new PC.
My computer is about to die.
All right, friends. That means we are on a limited time. We're playing chicken with Azalea's computer right now.
I've been fighting for my life with this computer for like 3 days. Ever since the last stream, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't want to keep a charge. I mean, it keeps the charge, but at the same time, the charger, I'll plug it in, and then it just won't work for some reason.
This is kind of like a wishbone. Nancy says, Azalea, do you like black yarn?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I like all yarns.
Show that Barbie that you made that dress or that sweater.
sweater,
Oh,
I made
did I
it-
show that already?
You showed it before it was finished the other
Let's
night
see
when
it
I made it.
finish.
I made it in 1 hour and 20 minutes, and that hour was during our live stream on Wednesday. I'm pleased with it. It came out. I didn't weave in the ends, but I liked it.
Looks good. Looks so good. Isn't that cute? Show those socks you were making for me. Nancy says, if yes, I can send some to you.
Oh, thank
Wow,
you.
that's nice of you. Thank you, Nancy. Check this out. So I get a pair of socks. I'm going to blow that out so I don't set all this work on fire.
When those are done, I'm going to call them the tourmaline socks.
Oh, they are exactly the color of tourmalines.
That's a classic Regency design cable pattern that usually would go on the ankle of the socks to cover up the seam on old stockings, but I decided it was pretty enough to put on the front of these. This is a pattern I've never used before, so
There's
the heel looks a little janky because I've never done it, but I think it'll still
I think it
hold
looks
up.
good.
Thanks.
Yeah,
It
so
fits
it's
her
kind of a
foot,
reinforced heel. See
now
that?
I'm in the part where I'm just knitting in the round and continuing my cable pattern on the front until it's the length that I can cast off. It's almost done.
Isn't that pretty? Nancy says, DM me your address. Thank you, Nancy.
Well, that's so nice of you.
Isn't that pretty? And she's doing 2 socks. Look at this. Look at this smarts.
2 small balls of yarn, 1
2
long
small.
circular needle.
This is the way to do it because that way you don't have the 1 sock syndrome that always afflicted me of making 2 of anything.
You're doing it at the same time, so they're not only are they getting done at the same time, but they're also identical because you're doing the same thing twice each time.
Yeah, look out, they're perfect.
Yeah, that's good yarn too.
Beautiful.
Tourmaline sock.
Nicely done, daughter.
Thank you. This is my first pair of this kind.
Azalea is pretty much gaining her master's degree in crafting, y'all. She was getting a little bit of a hard time from a friend of ours saying, hey, if you don't go to college, then you're going to be like naked and afraid and homeless.
Naked, afraid, and homeless. I don't think she didn't say that, but yeah, that was
implied. That was implied, like you're going to be circling. And I was like, listen,
that's funny.
If you have what's called gumption, none of that will happen because guess what? You can have a degree and also be naked and afraid and hopeless. Or homeless, or both, and all. A degree doesn't equate success. You know what would be good is something right through here, a pretty design. Or I could go, let's do a vine design. Let's make it into a vine. We'll turn it into like a grapevine. Oh, and that's another thing. We also have a grape outside. I was always going to find a place. We just need to get an arbor. This is going to turn into a viney piece. There, and a few little marks, and then it changes the look and feel of the hook. So we'll add another little area.